Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. 2025 has given us some absolutely incredible games, and today we're counting down the top 25 that you absolutely need to play. These games represent the best of what the Switch has to offer this year, from innovative new IPs to long-awaited sequels and gorgeous remakes. Let's dive right in. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings two legendary JRPGs back to life with gorgeous HD visuals and quality-of-life improvements that modernize these classics without losing their soul. The first game follows a young Imperial Guard officer who becomes embroiled in a rebellion against a corrupt empire, while the second game tells an even more ambitious story about war, betrayal, and the cost of leadership as you lead a resistance army against an invading nation. Both games revolve around recruiting 108 Stars of Destiny, unique characters who join your cause and build up your headquarters from a simple base into a thriving community. The combat system uses a traditional turn-based approach, with a party of 6, but the real strategic depth comes from large-scale war battles where you command entire armies and one-on-one duels that play out like strategic rock-paper-scissors encounters. Your choices throughout both games actually matter, affecting which characters you can recruit and which of multiple endings you'll get. The remaster adds a fast-forward function, enhanced UI, and the ability to switch between original and remastered graphics on the fly. Octopath Traveler 0 stands as one of the strongest Nintendo Switch RPGs of 2025 by confidently evolving the series' foundations while reshaping its structure. The turn-based combat retains the beloved break and boost systems, but expands them through a full 8-character party active in battle, adding deeper tactical layers where positioning, turn order, and resource management matter more than ever. Encounters feel deliberate and rewarding, pushing players to plan ahead rather than rely on raw numbers. A major shift comes from allowing players to create and customize their own protagonist, replacing the traditional multiple hero opening with a more personal journey that anchors the narrative. The story centers on rebuilding a ruined hometown, blending themes of loss, revenge, and renewal into a focused arc that feels more cohesive than previous entries. Exploration remains a highlight, with classic path actions returning to interact with NPCs, uncover side stories, and recruit allies, while a town-building system ties progression directly to world exploration and character growth.
Time to strike! Now's the time!
Now or never.
This is our chance! Time to strike!
Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, earns its place among the best Nintendo Switch games of the year by successfully modernizing a cult classic action RPG without losing its identity. Unlike traditional turn-based entries in Atlus's catalog, the game focuses on real-time combat, where players directly control Raidou Kuzunoha 14th, using sword attacks, firearms, and an active demon summoning system that unfolds fluidly within enclosed battle arenas. Combat depth comes from managing 2 demon allies at once, exploiting elemental weaknesses, issuing tactical commands, and experimenting with demon fusion to create specialized builds that meaningfully affect encounters. Outside of combat, gameplay blends investigation and exploration, as players roam a stylized Taisho-era Tokyo, questioning civilians, uncovering clues, and slipping into the dark realm to confront supernatural threats. The detective structure gives progression a steady rhythm, balancing story-driven cases with optional side investigations that expand the world. Narratively, the game follows Raidou as he becomes entangled in a political and occult conspiracy tied to the mysterious Soulless Army, combining noir detective themes with Shin Megami Tensei's signature dark mythology. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond stands as one of the strongest Nintendo Switch experiences by confidently blending classic Metroid Prime design with meaningful new ideas. The core gameplay remains focused on first-person exploration, asking players to carefully study interconnected alien environments filled with hidden paths, environmental puzzles, and upgrades that gradually open the world. Scanning once again plays a central role, encouraging observation and rewarding curiosity with lore, clues, and progression hints. Combat builds on the familiar lock-on shooting system, but feels more dynamic thanks to new psychic-style abilities that allow Samus to manipulate objects, uncover concealed mechanisms, and enhance attacks, adding tactical flexibility without straying from the series' deliberate pacing. Movement and traversal feel smoother and more expressive, reinforcing the sense of isolation and mastery that defines the franchise. The adventure takes place on the mysterious planet Vuros, whose ancient ruins and hostile ecosystems gradually reveal a deeper narrative tied to lost civilizations and lingering threats. Ball X Pit earns its reputation as one of the most memorable Nintendo Switch games of 2025 by building an entire experience around precise physics, momentum, and player creativity. At its core, the game blends arcade-style action with puzzle-driven design, asking you to control a rolling ball across compact arenas filled with pits, moving hazards, switches, and environmental traps. Movement is entirely physics-based, so speed, angle, and timing matter more than reflex mashing, creating a satisfying learning curve where mastery comes from understanding how the world reacts to your actions. Gameplay constantly evolves by introducing new mechanics such as gravity shifts, breakable terrain, chained momentum boosts, and multi-layered arenas that force you to think ahead rather than react blindly. The structure favors short, replayable challenges, encouraging experimentation and improvement as you chase cleaner runs and smarter solutions. Visually, the game keeps a clean, readable style that highlights motion and depth, ensuring hazards and pathways are always clear, even during fast sequences. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar stands out as one of the most satisfying, cozy experiences on Nintendo Switch by reshaping the familiar farming loop around a lively, commerce-driven structure. Set in the breezy town of Zephyr, gameplay blends classic activities like crop farming, animal care, fishing, bug catching, and crafting with a strong focus on preparing goods for the weekly bazaar, where selling strategy matters as much as production. Windmills are used to process materials into valuable products, encouraging thoughtful planning as you balance daily farm work with long-term market goals. Bazaar days introduce light management elements, letting you arrange your stall, attract customers, and react to demand trends, giving progression a rewarding rhythm that feels different from traditional life sims. Exploration and routine are complemented by a warm social layer, with a colorful cast of townsfolk, relationship building, character events, and seasonal festivals that bring personality and charm to the world. Quality of life improvements streamline inventory management and social interactions, keeping the pacing relaxed without losing depth. Trails in the Sky First Chapter is widely regarded as one of the best Nintendo Switch RPG experiences, thanks to its careful balance of world building, tactical depth, and heartfelt storytelling. The game follows Estelle Bright and her adopted brother Joshua as they begin their journey as junior bracers in the Liberal Kingdom, traveling between towns to help citizens while gradually uncovering political tension and hidden threats beneath the region's peaceful surface. Gameplay emphasizes exploration and interaction, with towns that feel alive thanks to NPC dialogue that updates as the story progresses, making even small side quests feel meaningful. Combat blends field encounters with turn-based strategy, rewarding positioning, turn order awareness, and smart use of arts and crafts. The Ordnance system allows deep customization, letting players shape each character's stats and abilities in a way that directly impacts battle flow without overwhelming newcomers. Side missions expand both mechanics and narrative, reinforcing the sense that Liberal is a coherent, lived-in world rather than a backdrop. Visually refreshed presentation and expanded voice work enhance emotional moments while preserving the series' classic identity.
go! Yeah!
Until Then stands out as one of the most emotionally resonant experiences on Nintendo Switch by focusing on intimate storytelling supported by subtle, purposeful mechanics. The game follows Mark Borja, a high school student living through everyday routines with friends, while unsettling déjà vu and unexplained events slowly fracture the normalcy of his world, which is still shaped by the aftermath of a past catastrophe. Gameplay leans toward narrative exploration, letting players move through detailed 2.5D environments, engage in grounded conversations, browse social media feeds, and respond to messages on an in-game smartphone, all of which reinforce character relationships and emotional tone, rather than branching outcomes. Light interactive elements and minigames, including piano-based rhythm moments and story-driven challenges, punctuate the dialogue and deepen immersion without distracting from the narrative flow. Visually, the expressive pixel art captures both quiet slice-of-life moments and surreal shifts with equal care, enhanced by a reflective soundtrack that underscores themes of friendship, regret, and growing up. Lunar Remastered Collection stands as one of the most rewarding Nintendo Switch RPG experiences by carefully modernizing two beloved classics while preserving the heart that made them special. The collection brings together Lunar Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete, both built around traditional turn-based combat that emphasizes party balance, smart spell usage, and steady character progression, rather than flashy gimmicks. Battles feel deliberate and approachable, supported by quality-of-life features such as adjustable battle speed and smoother menus that reduce friction without altering the original design philosophy. Exploration carries a strong sense of adventure, guiding players through charming towns, dungeons, and overworld routes that encourage interaction with NPCs and reward curiosity. Storytelling is the true highlight, focusing on hopeful journeys, close-knit party dynamics, romance, and emotional growth, with the second adventure expanding on these themes through higher personal stakes and more complex relationships. Enhanced visuals and cleaned-up presentation make environments and animated cutscenes feel vibrant while retaining their classic identity, and dual voice options allow players to experience the dialogue in different styles.
La 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 la.
Sonic Racing CrossWorlds earns its place among the best Nintendo Switch racing games by delivering fast, energetic arcade racing built around constant momentum and clever unpredictability. The core gameplay focuses on tight handling, drifting mastery, and smart boost management, with a wide roster of iconic Sonic characters whose individual stats subtly affect speed, acceleration, and control. What truly sets the experience apart is the Travel Rings system, where during races, the leading player selects a dimensional portal that transports everyone into a different cross-world mid-race, dynamically altering track layouts, hazards, shortcuts, and even racing conditions. This mechanic keeps every race feeling fresh and competitive, preventing outcomes from becoming predictable. Tracks are varied and imaginative, often shifting gameplay by transforming vehicles into boats, planes, or extreme gear hoverboards, adding rhythm changes without breaking flow. A deep customization system lets players assemble vehicles from numerous parts and equip gadgets that modify performance or grant situational advantages, encouraging experimentation and personalized racing styles. Neon Inferno stands out as one of the most intense and stylish Nintendo Switch action games by blending classic arcade energy with modern mechanical twists and a gritty cyberpunk atmosphere. Set in a neon-drenched dystopian New York torn apart by rival crime syndicates, the game throws players into relentless missions as one of two hardened operatives, each bringing a distinct presence to the chaos. Gameplay is built around fast, demanding run-and-gun combat that emphasizes constant movement, sharp reflexes, and spatial awareness, pushing players to manage threats coming from both the foreground and background through a clever, gallery-style shooting system. This dual-plane design adds real tactical depth, forcing smart positioning rather than simple forward firing. A key mechanic allows skilled players to deflect enemy bullets with precise timing, turning defense into offense, and rewarding mastery under pressure. Levels are tightly designed with vertical elements, environmental hazards, and escalating enemy patterns that culminate in challenging boss fights built around memorization and execution. The pixel art presentation is sharp and expressive, enhanced by dynamic lighting and a heavy synth soundtrack that reinforces the oppressive, high-voltage tone. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, stands out as one of the most charming and content-rich Nintendo Switch experiences by seamlessly blending cozy life simulation with flexible RPG progression and open-ended exploration. At the heart of the game is the Lives system, which lets players freely switch between numerous roles, ranging from combat-focused classes like Paladin, Mercenary, and Hunter, to gathering and crafting lives such as Miner, Woodcutter, Blacksmith, Cook, and Angler, each featuring its own skills, quests, and gear paths. Gameplay flows naturally between fighting monsters, collecting resources, crafting equipment, cooking meals, fishing, and building relationships, encouraging a relaxed but deeply satisfying sense of progression, where every activity feeds into another. Exploration plays a major role, with wide, colorful regions filled with secrets, dungeons, shrines, and challenges that reward curiosity rather than rushing objectives. A central pillar of progression involves restoring and customizing a ruined island, adding a creative layer that ties resource management, town building, and personal expression together. Is This Seat Taken stands out as one of the most charming and thoughtful Nintendo Switch games by transforming everyday social situations into clever, relaxing puzzle challenges. The core gameplay revolves around seating groups of quirky, shape-based characters in places like buses, cinemas, cafes, and events, with each character having clear preferences, dislikes, and social quirks that must be respected. Mechanics are entirely logic-driven and stress-free, with no timers or fail states pushing players to rush, allowing puzzles to unfold at a calm, reflective pace that rewards observation and experimentation. As the game progresses, new personality traits, seating rules, and environmental constraints are gradually introduced, adding depth without overwhelming the player and keeping each scenario fresh. The visual presentation leans into soft pastel colors and expressive animations, creating a cozy atmosphere that perfectly matches the game's gentle rhythm. While the focus is firmly on puzzles, a light narrative thread follows Nat, a rhombus aspiring to become an actor, whose journey through different cities and social spaces gives emotional context to the challenges and a sense of progression. Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector, stands as one of the most compelling narrative-driven experiences on Nintendo Switch by deepening its blend of tabletop-inspired mechanics, survival strategy, and rich sci-fi storytelling. Players once again inhabit a sleeper, an artificial body carrying a digitized human mind, this time navigating the dangerous and fragmented Starward Belt, a network of asteroid settlements, drifting stations, and struggling communities. Gameplay revolves around a dice-based system, where each day you roll dice and assign them to actions such as taking contracts, repairing your ship, scavenging resources, negotiating with factions, or helping crew members, with success and failure shaping both short-term outcomes and long-term consequences. The addition of a crew system expands tactical options, as companions bring unique abilities and extra dice that influence how challenges can be approached. A persistent stress and glitch mechanic adds tension, forcing careful decision-making as pushing too hard can lead to lasting penalties, reinforcing the constant pressure of survival. Exploration now feels more dynamic, thanks to ship management and travel between locations, giving the game a broader sense of scale than its predecessor. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma stands out as one of the most complete and comforting Nintendo Switch RPGs by tightly weaving life simulation, farming, and action-driven exploration into a cohesive adventure. Set in the Eastern-inspired land of Azuma, the game casts players as an amnesiac earth dancer tasked with restoring regions devastated by mysterious calamity, giving clear narrative purpose to every system. Core mechanics balance daily farm work, crop cultivation, animal care, crafting, and village rebuilding with real-time combat against corrupted monsters, where weapon choice, elemental abilities, and sacred treasures play a meaningful role. Exploration unfolds across distinct seasonal zones, each offering quests, materials, and environmental challenges that reward both preparation and curiosity. Village restoration is more than cosmetic, as rebuilding structures and improving farmland directly affects resources, story progression, and access to new activities. Social gameplay remains central, with a lively cast of villagers, festivals, relationship building, and optional romance adding warmth and personality to the world. Combat flows naturally into the life sim loop rather than interrupting it, making progression feel steady and satisfying. Marvel Cosmic Invasion stands out as one of the most exciting Nintendo Switch action games by delivering a polished, side-scrolling brawler that blends classic arcade intensity with smart, modern systems. Gameplay is built around fast, responsive combat, where players battle through waves of enemies across iconic Marvel locations, chaining light and heavy attacks, dodges, launches, and powerful screen-clearing specials. A key mechanic is the tag team system, which lets you select two heroes from a diverse roster of Earth-based and cosmic characters, and switch between them instantly, encouraging creative combos and tactical flexibility depending on enemy types and situations. Each hero feels distinct, thanks to unique movesets, abilities, and combat rhythms, preventing encounters from becoming repetitive even during longer sessions. The game supports solo play and up to 4-player co-op, making it ideal for both focused single-player runs and chaotic group play, with light progression systems that reward continued play without overwhelming the core arcade flow. Storytelling is straightforward but effective, centering on a large-scale cosmic threat that forces heroes from different corners of the Marvel Universe to unite, with short narrative beats and villain encounters providing momentum between stages. Enter Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist. The game follows Lilac, an attuner who awakens in the ruined Land of Fumes, a once advanced kingdom where artificial beings known as homunculi have been corrupted and driven into madness. Exploration is built around smooth 2D platforming through a tightly interconnected world filled with hidden paths, shortcuts, and meaningful backtracking that steadily opens up as new abilities are unlocked. Combat takes a thoughtful approach by having Lilac fight indirectly, purifying defeated homunculi and recruiting them as summonable allies, each offering distinct attack patterns, movement skills, and tactical advantages. This system encourages experimentation, allowing players to customize loadouts to suit different enemies and boss encounters rather than relying on a single playstyle. Level design and pacing support discovery without frustration, aided by smart map tools and fast travel options that keep momentum intact. Storytelling is subtle and environmental, unfolding through haunting locations, subdued dialogue, and a melancholic soundtrack that reinforces themes of loss, memory, and redemption. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound reasserts the series' reputation for precision and intensity by delivering a tightly focused, side-scrolling action experience built around speed, timing, and mastery. Gameplay centers on fluid movement and lethal combat, asking players to chain wall jumps, dashes, and sword strikes with exacting control as enemies and hazards punish hesitation. You play primarily as Kenji Mozu, a young ninja of the Hayabusa clan, defending his village during Ryu Hayabusa's absence, with the narrative quickly expanding through the introduction of Komori from the rival Black Spider clan. Their connection isn't just story-driven, it directly feeds into the mechanics, unlocking layered abilities and tactical options that change how encounters and traversal are approached. Combat rewards rhythm and precision, especially through systems that encourage aggressive play and clean execution, letting skilled players tear through foes while maintaining momentum. Level design keeps pressure high with vertical layouts, environmental traps, and escalating enemy patterns that culminate in demanding boss fights focused on pattern recognition and discipline rather than attrition. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition stands as one of the most ambitious RPG experiences on Nintendo Switch by delivering a vast sci-fi world built around freedom, systems depth, and long-term discovery. Set on the alien planet Mira, the game places exploration at the heart of progression, encouraging players to traverse enormous continents, uncover hidden landmarks, and complete survey objectives that gradually reveal the planet's scale and secrets. Combat blends real-time action with MMO-like structure, mixing melee and ranged attacks, cooldown-based arts, positioning, and tension management to create encounters that reward preparation and situational awareness. As the adventure expands, piloting Skells, customizable giant mechs, dramatically changes both traversal and combat, unlocking flight, new combat tactics, and high-risk engagements against massive enemies. Character progression is highly flexible, allowing class switching, skill optimization, and party customization that support many playstyles rather than a single optimal path. The Definitive Edition refines the experience with meaningful quality-of-life improvements, including smoother menus, clearer quest tracking, shared experience for inactive party members, and streamlined navigation that reduce friction without simplifying the underlying systems.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight! Shadow strike!
Assault hammer!
Nice! Move in and do some damage!
Flame grenade! Almost there! Need strength!
Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is delivering deep, deliberate gameplay paired with a mature and politically charged narrative. Combat is fully turn-based on grid-based maps, where positioning, elevation, terrain, and turn order are just as important as raw stats, rewarding careful planning over reckless aggression. The iconic job system allows each unit to take on specialized roles, such as knights, mages, dragoons, or hybrid builds, with skills learned across jobs creating near-endless tactical combinations and long-term party customization. Battles unfold at a thoughtful pace, emphasizing foresight, synergy, and risk management, while modern quality-of-life improvements streamline menus, improve readability, and make extended encounters smoother without removing challenge. The story follows Ramza Beulve, a noble caught between loyalty and truth, as he navigates the brutal realities of war, class conflict, religious manipulation, and betrayal within the kingdom of Ivalice. Narrative strength comes from its grounded tone, morally complex characters, and shifting perspectives that challenge traditional heroism, giving emotional weight to every victory and loss.
There's food too.
Absolum stands out as one of the most inventive Nintendo Switch action games by fusing classic side-scrolling beat-em-up intensity with modern roguelite structure and expressive fantasy world-building. Set in the fractured realm of Talum, where magic has been outlawed by the tyrannical Sun King Azra, the game casts players as members of a rebel group, each hero offering a distinct combat identity built around speed, power, agility, or spellcraft. Gameplay emphasizes tight melee fundamentals, light and heavy attacks, juggling, dodges, and well-timed counters, while layering in build-defining systems that meaningfully reshape each run. Rituals and inspirations grant passive bonuses and powerful abilities, encouraging experimentation and letting playstyles evolve between attempts rather than locking players into a single approach. Roguelite progression keeps momentum high. Procedurally arranged encounters, branching paths, and varied rewards ensure no two runs feel the same, while permanent upgrades earned through failure steadily expand your options and skill ceiling. Beyond pure combat, side objectives and diverging routes add light exploration and decision-making, rewarding risk without breaking pace. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake stands as one of the most meaningful JRPG revivals on Nintendo Switch by carefully modernizing two foundational adventures while preserving their classic identity. The experience is built around traditional turn-based combat, retaining the familiar command-driven structure that emphasizes thoughtful pacing, spell management, and steady character growth rather than flashy mechanics. Quality of life refinements such as smoother menus, adjustable battle flow, and improved balance make exploration and combat more approachable without stripping away the sense of danger that defined the originals. The HD 2D visual style is a major highlight, blending detailed pixel characters with dynamic lighting, depth, and richly textured environments that bring the worlds of Alefgard and Torland to life in a way that feels nostalgic yet contemporary. Storytelling has been meaningfully expanded, with added scenes, refined dialogue, and stronger narrative links that give greater emotional weight and continuity to both quests. Dragon Quest I's lone hero journey feels more dynamic through refined encounters and deeper lore, while Dragon Quest II expands its scope with new areas, additional story content, and a broader party dynamic that enhances both strategy and character interaction. Hades 2 stands as one of the most refined and replayable action experiences on Nintendo Switch by expanding every core pillar that made its predecessor so compelling. Players control Melinoe, an immortal witch of the underworld, whose journey unfolds through fast, responsive isometric combat built around constant movement, precise timing, and flexible build crafting. Each run blends melee attacks, ranged tools, magic, and spellcasting systems that encourage experimentation rather than fixed strategies, with boons from Olympian gods radically reshaping how weapons and abilities behave. Procedurally generated routes across underworld and surface regions introduce meaningful choices, while enemy variety and boss encounters demand pattern recognition, positioning, and smart resource use rather than raw aggression. Between runs, progression systems deepen the loop through crafting, upgrades, and preparation options that subtly alter future attempts without removing challenge. Death is not failure, but forward momentum, unlocking new dialogue, mechanics, and story threads that continually evolve the world.
They're slowing down.
Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 remains one of the most joyful and inventive platforming experiences on Nintendo Switch by uniting two landmark adventures built around gravity-defying creativity and immaculate level design. Both games revolve around low-gravity mechanics that let Mario run around spherical planetoids, leap between tiny worlds, and solve movement puzzles where momentum, camera awareness, and timing are constantly recontextualized. Each stage feels like a self-contained idea, introducing fresh mechanics, hazards, and power-ups at a brisk pace that keeps discovery front and center rather than repetition. The first adventure emphasizes wonder and exploration, while the sequel sharpens the formula with tighter challenges, smarter layouts, and a stronger focus on precision and mastery. Super Mario Galaxy 2 expands interactions through Yoshi, whose tongue mechanics and transformations open new traversal options and playful problem-solving that subtly change how levels flow. The story stays light and approachable, following Mario across galaxies to stop Bowser, with Rosalina and the Lumas adding warmth and quiet emotional texture through optional storybook segments that enrich the universe without interrupting gameplay. Hollow Knight Silksong stands among the strongest Nintendo Switch experiences by reworking the series' signature exploration and precision combat around a faster, more aggressive heroine and a richer vertical world. You play as Hornet, whose acrobatic movement, wall vaults, and grappling options make traversal feel fluid and expressive, encouraging momentum-driven platforming through the interconnected kingdom of Farloom. Combat shifts toward offense and adaptability. Hornet gathers Silk to heal, activate powerful skills, and maintain pressure, allowing mid-combat recovery and risk-reward decision-making that keeps fights tense without slowing the pace. Encounters are built around sharp enemy patterns and demanding bosses, rewarding timing, positioning, and mastery rather than raw stats. Progression expands through a flexible tool and crest system that lets players tailor passive bonuses and active items to suit different builds, adding strategic depth as challenges escalate. The world design pushes upward through diverse regions filled with side quests, NPCs, and hidden routes, making discovery feel purposeful and constantly surprising. Storytelling unfolds organically through environments and character interactions, following Hornet's ascent toward the Citadel while exploring themes of duty, legacy, and the fate of Farloom's inhabitants. And that's our top 25 Nintendo Switch games of 2025. This year delivered everything from classic remasters to innovative new IPs, proving the Switch still has plenty of life left in it. What were your favorite games this year? Drop your own top in the comments below. I'd love to see what made your list. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy gaming!